Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another video on Happy RC Flyer here on YouTube. Today we have another sneak peek Saturday for you, and you'll have to excuse a little bit of shakiness. It's officially wintertime here in the United States. It's, I think, in the low 40s maybe, but it's like 30-mile-an-hour winds, so the wind chill is a little bit chilly. And if you hear some noise in the background, I'll try to edit that out in post-production, but there's a lot of wind noise in the background, and there's a flagpole that's not too far from here that's rattling quite a bit. So hopefully that's not too annoying for the video. But you guys have all seen my goggles too from DJI, and I think I've shown you some footage and stuff. I haven't really got to do a really good in-depth review on those yet, but that's what I've been using up to this point. V2 and goggles 2 now I've been using most of this year. And, you know, they've been talking about the DJI 04 unit and the 04 Pro and the 04 Lite unit, which I'm really anticipating those and excited about those when they come out. And in order to get that higher resolution, or with the Pro, the high speed latency, you need the goggles 3. And I thought, man, I really don't have a good reason to upgrade, but anyhow, I did. I bit the bullet. I got the goggles 3, the DJI goggles 3, and that's what we're going to be unboxing in today's video. So if you want to see an unsponsored, unbiased perspective on these, we're just going to be doing an unboxing. I don't have any air units with me. It's pretty windy to try to fly anything unless it's like a, wing or something would do good. But we're just going to do the unboxing, kind of the first thoughts and perspective on these from a hobbyist. So if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing. Subscribing helps the channel grow, and we're here to help grow the hobby. So make sure you're subscribed if you like getting notified of future videos. Make sure you turn on the bell icon, and drop a comment or a question if you have one, whether it's about this item, whether it's about the DJI FPV system, or the goggles 2 or goggles 3 or V2, or the new DJI 04 unit that they're coming out with pretty soon, hopefully. But whatever it is, if it's in regard to something like that, or just anything about the RC hobby, drop a comment or a question if you have one. I don't have all the answers, but I'll help you find the answers together. And there's a lot of people that hang out, watch the videos, and hang out in the comment section. And I feel like the RC community is a community that just helps each other figure out problems, and just general communication is a lot of fun. So drop a comment or question if you have one. Like the video at the end, hit the thumbs up button if you like these videos and you like the content that's in them. Share it with a friend that you think might enjoy these videos. And of course, let's get into it. As I mentioned, it's kind of a cold day. It's really windy. There's probably going to be some noise in the audio, and hopefully I'll try to filter and process that out of it. So hopefully it's not too annoying. But yeah, I've been flying the DJI goggles 2 quite a bit, and haven't had any complaints about them. When I first got them, I really didn't like the foam around it. As I mentioned before, it just didn't leave a lot of room for my North American Indian nose. And but once I got these foam upgrades, that was a real game changer. It did away with the light leakage, made it really comfortable to view it, to wear them and view. And just was a big game changer. So then I really started using them and started enjoying them. And I've showed you a little bit about the goggle strap, I think, in one of my other videos in the Tools and Tips Tuesday. But I thought it was time to upgrade. Thought it was time to grab one of these goggles 3. As I mentioned already, I'm anticipating the 04 air units that are going to come out. I've been really dreaming about a lightweight micro air unit. It sounds like they're coming out with one. It's going to be the DJI 04 Lite. It's supposed to be like 10 grams or sub 10 grams or something. So, man, I'm going to be all over that thing as soon as it comes out, and I'm sure you guys will see it on the channel when it does. So, in order to get the high resolution of the DJI 04, and to get that low latency when they come out with the Pro unit, which is going to be like, it's going to have race mode, you need the goggles 3. So you can still connect to the 04 when it comes out. It's supposed to have full compatibility. That's what we've heard anyway. Now that remains to be seen, because they haven't actually released it to the public yet or started producing it. I think maybe some of the reviewers might have it. I'm not sure. I don't have any affiliation with DJI. I don't have any insight with any of the companies. I'm just a hobbyist and pay full price just like anybody else would. So if you like that unsponsored, unbiased perspective, you're at the right place. And let's unbox it. So there's some details on the back here, kind of tells you all about it. Shows you that it does come with the goggle strap and the built-in battery pack on the back. There's going to be a lot of details that I'm probably not going to share in this video, just because I'm still exploring and still learning about it. Spoiler alert that I did unbox this already just to make sure it was complete at the time of purchase. I did purchase these used off another individual. They were kind of like new old stock, if you know what I mean. He got them and he actually never used them. And so they were still sealed at the time that I bought them. And I just wanted to check them right there on the spot at the time of the purchase. So I did cut the seal, make sure everything was there, but I haven't tested them out. I haven't hooked them up to any air units or anything like that. So we'll kind of open it together. Just has this little tab in the top. You open that up. It has your manual, or what I call as instructions. It has, looks like another pad here, and then possibly some lenses. We'll open those up here in a minute. Inside here is your goggles 3 in a nice little wrapper. And then of course you have this cord, and I do believe that this cord originally was in one of these little wrappers or one of these little packages. So I think that's pretty much all that comes with it. There's some of these little gel packets that you should not eat no matter how hungry you are. And I think that's about all that comes in it. So the box is kind of shaped to where the goggles kind of sit in there a certain way, but it's just cardboard. And honestly, I'm going to complain a little bit because I really feel like the goggles should be in some sort of a padding. I'd like to see some foam or bubble wrap or something around there just to keep plastic from rubbing on cardboard. And if the box hits the ground or you drop it, you know, it's just not, needs a little bit of shock absorbent there. So anyway, we got some of those complaints out of the way. And, there's some things that I'm a little critical of, and some guys are like, oh, why are you so critical? Not really purposefully trying to be critical, but there's just, I think, normal things that people who get them for free, the sponsor guys, just don't mention because it's easier just to ignore. You don't want to hurt any sales, but I don't have anything to lose. I make just as much money whether you watch the videos or not, whether you buy a product or not. It doesn't matter to me. I'm sharing the fun of RC and I have a blast. So I have fun making the videos. I'm not in competition with anybody, not trying to make money, just sharing and hopefully keeping you guys interested in the RC hobby, expanding your horizon a little bit. So there they are. It just has the same flip up antennas as the goggles too. Now the goggles too do unhook. You can just pull these. Many people don't know it, but you can just pull them right out. They're just a tension connector or friction. They are different from right to left. There is a little ridge or a little different shaped groove in each side. So when you go to put them back in, make sure you don't get them mixed up. But those do come out. I don't think that these on the goggles 3 come out. And I'm a little bit skeptical because I like the option of hooking up external antennas or having like a ground base station with a camera tripod where you can just hook in your like SMA connectors or whatever they are. But I don't know that these detach. So I'll have to get back with you. This is not going to be a really in-depth review on the goggles or testing them or anything like that. Whoops. It's pretty windy out. We're getting some gusts of wind. It's kind of wintertime. We're getting adjusted to temperatures. I'm like loaded up with sweaters like a shish kebab. Anyway, here's the battery pack that's on the back, and it does have this little dial here that when you turn the dial, I don't know if you can see that, but it pulls in, it tightens the size of the goggle strap. There's goggle foam here on the back, and your battery pack is in here in this section back here. So that kind of offsets a little bit of the weight. Sorry, guys. Get this here so it's not going to blow away. That does offset a little bit of the weight of the goggles. Now, I don't have a scales with me. I should have probably brought one. I just forgot, but we'll do that in another video. We'll weigh them and see what the weight difference is front to back and how they balance out. This strap is just nylon here. I guess it's got a little bit of stretchiness to it. This one, not so, well, I guess it does have a little bit of stretchiness in it, but you can feel inside the wires that go to the battery that goes on the back of your head. So that's kind of neat. And I'll just dispel a myth that I had when I looked at these, that I thought this hinge here, because the way this fits, you can see that the goggle straps are strapped to this bracket up on top that's supposed to rest on your forehead. Whereas these goggle straps are down right in line with where glasses would be or sunglasses. So the band is a lot lower on the goggles 2 than it is on the goggles 3. And I had assumed that this hinge, that you would be able to swing the goggles up while it's strapped on your head, that you could just swing them all the way up. And I really think that would be a cool feature. Unfortunately, that's not the case. So that's going to be my second complaint, is that they don't have this hinge to where it can just flip up like a visor, to where if you want to look around, you can flip it around. So I already know, and I probably won't be able to show you in this video, but these do have little camera lenses on the front of the goggles so that you can put them to just look at the camera straight out, or like, I forget what they call that mode. Maybe I'll put that on the screen if I think of it. But basically, so instead of swinging your goggles up, if you need to step up or you need to sit down or take a few steps to sit down before you fly or whatever like that, or you just want to see who's in front of you, so you hear footsteps and you want to see what's going on, you can tap the side screen and it'll turn the front facing cameras on. So that's a cool feature, but still would have really liked to have that hinged where it could just flip up out of the way, and then you wouldn't have to actually physically take your goggles and strap and everything off. So anyway, another little kind of a petty complaint, more with the packaging, is that you might have noticed, and I forgot to point this out, but this little foam piece was just sitting in here. And that's kind of nice for transportation or packing or whatever. You can kind of pack them in there like that. But these goggles too did come with this plastic. Sorry, everything's blowing around out here. It's pretty windy. The goggles too came with this plastic lens cover, and this is a hard lens cover. And then I don't know if some of them came with a like a little soft, like a soft material or nylon cover, but these are a nice plastic cover, and these actually kind of clip on. And I really like those because you don't want the sun to shine down in your lenses. I've heard, at least on the V2s, that it can damage the screen, so you want to be really careful about that. Any kind of bright light, I mean, it is a screen in there, so you don't want it to be damaged. I don't know about the goggles 2 and goggles 3, if anybody has confirmed as to whether sunlight will damage the screens. But that's something I try to keep a really close eye on, and make sure that I have them, up on my head when I take that lens out, and get them on my head and make sure I'm not dropping them to where the sun can shine down in the lenses. On these, they don't come with any covers, so kind of a little bit disappointed with that. At least that's my understanding. I think this little cover here is more of like a padding for up on top, but let's go ahead and open it up. Let's just double check, because I might be complaining too much here, and they might have a resolve for that. I don't think so. My hands are kind of cold. They're not working properly. Here we go. I don't think that this is a lens cover. Let's see. Oh, no, it is. It is. I take that back. That's part of unboxing it, I guess, and looking at it together. So this is supposed to be, I think this is supposed to be the lens cover. Is that right? No, this is not a lens. Let's see. What does this say? You gotta get it right side up first. It says, use the additional forehead pad if the lenses are too close to your eyes. And this is another additional pad, I think, for up here that clips on. So it's another, I don't know if that's probably a 1/4 inch thickness or so. And I think that's what they're intending that to go up above the actual goggles. So still, there's no protector. Once you get these out, you don't have any protector on those. So that's kind of a downside. I mean, I really feel like that's part of preserving your goggles is help and watch out for you. And I really like the ones that they included in the goggles too. So let me just see real quick if you can take the ones from the goggles 2 and clip them on the goggles 3, because a lot of the lens adjusters inside look the same. Yeah, there they are. So look at that. The ones from the goggles 2, I don't know if you can see that. I know it's kind of getting dark out here, but the one from the goggles 2 fits in there perfectly on the goggles 3, because the lens and the focusers, the size of those lenses are the same size. So they just clip in there. So that's nice to know that you could take it if you already have the goggles 2, take it from the goggles 2 and put on the goggles 3. But I'm pretty sure that the goggles 2 all came with those. I'm not sure why they didn't include that with the goggles 3, but that's another gripe that I have. Here are a couple lenses, and let's see what these are. I'm just going to try to look through and see. It says plus, or it says 200 minus 2.0 D corrective lenses. So I guess if you have a prescription that is minus 2.0, or if you have in the minus in your prescriptions, then you can adjust that. I've mentioned this before on the videos, but I don't wear any glasses or contact lenses. I probably will when I get older. That's just kind of a thing you do when you get old, and it's just a symptom of eating too much birthday cake. Your skin gets wrinkly and you have to get glasses. So at some point I'll probably need glasses, but up until now, all the goggles, whether it's the Walk Snail goggles L with no focusers or the V2s with no focusers, I don't have any personal problem with those. if you do have an optic adjustment, if you do need corrective lenses, a lot of these will work because they'll focus your eye. They'll focus plus and minus. I think this goes down to -6 and up to +2. So I'm not sure what those other lenses, if that would be an extra -2 on top of the 6, if that would be -8. And I'm not an optometrist, so maybe somebody else that knows more about that can comment in the comment section and let us know how strong of a lens that would be if you added those extra lenses in there. But those are in there, the extra spacers in there, if the adjustment's not right. I just feel like it's getting kind of dark for you guys to be able to see. Hopefully the video is bright enough. But yeah, the main differences between the two of them without powering them on and looking at them is you no longer have an external battery. You do have the built-in battery pack. And as far as I see, I don't really see any option of being able to power them externally. So I'll do a test in the future as to whether you can use these while you have them plugged into a charger plug, which is a Type-C down here. But everything physically is a lot the same as the Goggles 2, other than I don't see that these antennas come off, which I'm pretty disappointed with that. But physically, they look pretty much the same. You'll notice that these little cameras on each side are added on to the Goggles 2. Of course, they have this visor with a little bit of a hinge, and we'll go ahead and stick them on. I do have a stocking cap on, and it's too cold to take the stocking cap off. But I'll put them on over top of that, which is nice because these are a lot easier to adjust. But I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but you can swing them out a little bit. Uh-oh, I'm losing my papers. You can swing them. You can adjust them a little bit. They have a little bit of adjustment here. You guys probably can't even see that. But that just helps it sit flat against your face and tries to take away the light leakage, which I'm still getting a little bit of light leakage, and this is not even a sunny day. So on a sunny day, probably get a lot of light leakage. This has the rubber around it, which I'm not a big fan of that. Around the nose piece, it's just kind of floppy. I don't know if you guys can see that. But it's kind of floppy around there. There's no, I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's not foam. It's just like floppy rubber and doesn't have any rigidity to it. It's kind of molded, but just kind of sits there. I don't know. It's like, I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's a weird design. This here, I think that kind of tickles my nose. It's just a little bit of like a floppy rubber. Kind of reminds me of like a skirting on a hovercraft or something. You know, the form is there, but there's no like rigidity to it or anything. So I'm not a fan of that, but I might see if the same foams will go on the Goggles 3, because I think they will. I think they're pretty much the same size. So anyway, I'm looking forward to it. They have buttons up here on top. So I think, yeah, on the other ones, on the Goggles 2 and the Goggles Integra, you just power them on and they go. But on these Goggles 3, you have a little joystick up here, a little short joystick. I don't know if you can see that, but that would be, looks just like the one on the DJI Goggle V2. So the little joystick and then a little button here. I think it says a back button, so you want to back up. Of course, it has the touchpad here, just like the Goggles 2. And then there's a button on the bottom, a power button, a Type-C. Inside here on top, in between the two lenses on the top, right under the visor, is your SD card for micro SD card storage, for your OSD, video and stuff like that. So yeah, overall, I mean, this is not going to be a real long video. It's not a, review or anything like that. We're not going to test it or anything like that, but, just a quick look at it. I wish that they came with these lens protectors. I wish that they packed it in foam. I think it would protect it in transport. I wish they did give you the option. This has a built-in battery pack, so I don't know what you do once that goes dead. I have some times where I'm flying battery packs back to back with the quads, and I run down one of these. So I have a couple of these batteries. I have another setup that maybe I'll do in another tools and tips video, for doing some external power if these go dead while you're flying. So I like the option of being able to switch out batteries on the Goggles 2. Not a big fan of that on the Goggles 3 yet. Maybe they'll last longer. I'm not sure. So the foam packing, the no lens protector in the package when you buy them new, the battery that is you're kind of stuck with. So hopefully I can run it on on the Type-C battery or on the Type-C USB charger cord while I'm flying. Because once this goes dead, you might just have to sit and wait for it to charge, and that would kind of stink. I wish that this visor would flip all the way up out of the way. There's not really any reason I see anyway of why they couldn't do that. It hinges a little bit. Why not make that a really nice hinge and just be able to flip it up out of the way so you don't have to readjust it every time? I wish the antennas would come loose to detach, and maybe they will. I'll have to dig into it, but they obviously don't. They don't pull right off, and I don't think they twist. It doesn't feel like anything, but I'll look into that because I do want to have the option of putting on external antennas. That might be about it. I mean, maybe when I try them out, there'll be some other complaints. I don't know, but it's really windy. It's about to blow my camera right off the table there. So we'll not make this video any longer than it has to be, but there's the Goggles 2 and the Goggles 3, and be looking for those once I get a chance to test them and kind of use them for some flights and things like that. I'll let you know, report back and how I like them, or if there's some other complaints that I have, and I'm sure there'll be other videos on it. But another quick thing too, kind of a big warning thing, that when you get these goggles, there's been a software issue between the Goggles 3 and the DJI O3 Air unit. And so they went a few months. DJI pretty much tried to ignore that there was even an issue. They finally, I think, kind of unofficially acknowledged that there was an issue. They worked on it. They did get it fixed. But just because they fixed the issue doesn't mean that when you buy a new pair of Goggles 3, the issue is going to be fixed. You do need to make sure you go in and update the software in these. So like I purchased these, and before I fly these on an O3 Air unit, I'm going to make sure I update the software. And so there'll probably be another video on how to update the software in the future on that one. But just wanted to give a quick shout on that one, because if you get a new pair of goggles and you say, oh, well, they fixed the issue, but you get a new pair of goggles and they have the old software on them, and you take it and hook it up to your O3 freestyle quad or whatever, and you go out and fly and it disconnects and you lose your quad someplace, that would be really sick. That would be like super sick. So keep that in mind. Make sure your software is updated. Make sure you got the one without the bugs. And all right, I think that's about it. So again, if you like the video, hit the big thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. Subscribing helps grow the channel. Most of my viewers are not subscribed, so hope you take the time to do that. I enjoy sharing in the fun of RC, and I hope you take the time to subscribe. Turn on the bell icon if you want to get notified of future videos when we do some more videos on the DJI goggles. And we're also testing out some of the walk snail equipment as well, and got the Goggles L. You've probably seen that in a recent video. So if you want to get notified of some of those upcoming FPV projects, make sure the bell icon's turned on so you can get notified of that in the future. Drop a comment or question if you have one, whether it's about this, question about this, comment, suggestion for something on the channel. I'm always up for that. I enjoy hearing from you guys. And share this video with a friend that you think might enjoy it. Thanks for watching this Sneak Peek Saturday, and we'll catch you in the next one. Have a great weekend.